Hello everybody and welcome to Season 4 of Career Mode. Now I wasn't sure I was going to do this at first, but then I thought, you know what? I'm going to finish off Career Mode with one more season. Now there has been a huge regulation change straight off the bat, and as you can see from the performance index, Williams are now the team to beat. How would you like that? Mercedes are now second, Alpine are third, we're fourth, McLaren are a bit behind us, along with Red Bull. Then it's Haas, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Ferrari having a terrible time of it at the moment at the beginning of this season. But if you want to know who's really suffering off the bat, it's Aston Martin. Right, how do the drivers line up? Now, first things first, I wanted to incorporate Daniel Ricciardo into career mode, and in order to do that, I had to start a whole new career mode and basically simulate a few seasons to get some driver transfers going as well, and also to tie in with the story of Valtteri Bottas leaving at the end of season 3. But also leaving in a shock was Sergio Perez. So Perez is now gone. This is how we're lining up for season 4 then. Max Verstappen has moved from Red Bull to Mercedes. So Max Verstappen is now driving at Mercedes. Lando Norris has made the move from McLaren to Williams. Felipe Drugovich, our former teammate who finished the season with a victory last season out, is now his Williams teammate. Daniel Ricciardo has gone straight in at the deep end for Ferrari. Oscar Piastri becomes the lead McLaren driver. Lance Stroll is at Mercedes again. He was with Mercedes, I think, at season 2. So he's moved back. George Russell is at Alpine. That's us in 8th. Obviously, we're within our own team. Pierre Gasly becomes Ricciardo's Ferrari teammate. Gasly and Ricciardo are going to really struggle at the beginning of the season. Alex Albon is paired with Piastri at McLaren. Liam Lawson takes the move to Aston Martin, one which he may regret. He may regret leaving Williams because they're looking very competitive. Jack Doohan joins Red Bull. Vesti is paired up with Lawson in Aston Martin, and it's Vesti's debut race, just as it is with Doohan as well. So both of them making their debuts. Zhou Guanyu is at Alpine. Then we've got Ocon at Haas. Here's another massive shock. Charles Leclerc has been let go from Ferrari and sent to the mid-pack with AlphaTauri. What a transfer that is. Dennis Hauger is with Alfa Romeo, and the driver we have nabbed as our teammate for Season 4 is none other than the smooth operator himself, Carlos Sainz. After seeing how well he's done in actual F1 this year, I thought, you know what, let's give him a go as our teammate. We've got Logan Sargent at Haas, we've got Magnussen, who is Leclerc's teammate, Tsunoda is at Alfa Romeo, and the second Red Bull seat is filled by Théo Pourchaire. So that is how you have things moving into this season. And of course, we are now going to qualifying, which another change to your career mode here is now one shot. So it's a one-shot qualifying, and the races are a new distance. They are 35%, and the way career mode is now going to work from now until the conclusion of this season, which is the final season, we will be doing the full race. So without further ado, let's go to qualifying. Let's get straight in the deep end. But first things first, I think I am going to plonk on, an upgrade on the car. I think first things first, let's get a weight reduction upgrade on. Can you put 2 weight reduction ones in one go? You can, but I'm going to go with one. I'm going to go with one and go for a gradual upgrade. Right, let's go to qualifying. Right then, before we qualify, let's give you a quick look at the new car. Let's give you a quick look. Oh, it's not going to let me. There you go. Black and red at the front, and that's pretty much the theme we've got. It is black and red. Right, let's go. Let's qualify. So far, so good down the straight. But the next bit is going to be where we start facing challenges because we failed to pick up some of the upgrades that we had obtained. We failed to protect, so that means we are going to be a little bit on our back foot. And George Russell is looking mighty quick so far this lap. I've braked quite late now. I've gone quite deep. That's going to cost me just a little bit. I'm currently looking at P7. That's not very good. I want to try and get a little bit higher than that if I can. Right, down to the tight right hand. And Norris now looking like the driver to beat in the Williams. And this is Lando's best chance of grabbing that world title. He is the one to beat for now as we go a little bit deep round the double left, and that has really cost us because now we're not even in the top 10. And this is the pressure of one lap qualifying. Every single apex has to be just right. You really have to nail the lap. You get one lap, and if you get one bit wrong, you're compromised, and we're compromised again there. And it looks like we're gonna be outside the top 10 unless we can throw it round the last corner decent enough, and so far we're still a little bit wide, but we were able to carry enough speed that it's gonna put us, I think, ahead of P14, but it's gonna be P13, and a shocking way to start this new season of career mode. But Lando Norris getting the perfect start in his Williams because he is on pole, and Williams have locked out the front row quite comfortably, and it's 2 by 2 for the first few positions because it's Verstappen and Stroll 3rd and 4th, Russell and Zhou 5th and 6th, and then you've got Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator, in 7th, followed by Albon and Piastri, and then the first driver to break that formation is Théo Pourchaire with Ricciardo 11th, Leclerc 12th, and we are in P13, just ahead of debutant Jack Doohan. Hauger, Sargent, Tsunoda, Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen, Lawson and Vesti round out the field then. But obviously that could change with penalties. You never know how it's going to work out, but Sainz then out qualifying us for this first race, and this is going to be a difficult first race because we haven't quite got the pace, and I think we're going to stick on another couple of upgrades. I've changed my mind. I don't like this. I want to upgrade quick, so let's get an upgrade on the brakes, and let's also throw on that weight distribution one. Let's get the chassis. Let's focus first on the chassis before we move to the aerodynamics. We are a little bit on the back foot, but that could change in the next few races. Right, let's do it then. The Bahrain Grand Prix. Just got to wait for a few seconds first before Crofty does his nice little intro. And then we will be go. We have 20 laps in this shortened race. Normally we have 29 in the 50% distance, but we just have 35% to move forward. So less time to do it. It's definitely going to add the pressure in moving forwards. And it's definitely going to force us to try and do it quicker, which means we're going to have to make more risky overtaking moves in order to make it work for us. But can we grab points? That is the big question.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal, and it's make or break here at round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Felipe Drugovich completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Stroll, Russell, Zhou, Sainz, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Joker, Doohan, Hauger, Sargent, Sonoda, Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen, Teo Pourchaire, Liam Lawson, and Frederick Vesti. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So our first penalty victim has become Teo Pourchaire. Right, how are we going to do this tyre-wise? Well, soft to medium seems like the obvious choice. We're starting in 12th. What can we do here? 20 laps ahead of us. The lights coming on. And Season 4 is underway. And it's a good start. Not so much a Piastri, but I tell you what, those on row 4, Sainz and Albon, didn't look to be away well. I'm trying to go between them, and I've braked a bit too late, and we've been spun. Oh dear, that is not good. The virtual safety car is out, and we've now got a red flag. So that is not the way for any motor race to start. Oh, that was dramatic. I don't know what I did wrong there. I braked late, and then I got hit. I was trying to go between them. That was my bad on the braking, and then someone went into me. But as a result, we have a red flag now. Will the medium tyre go to the end? I'm kind of hoping so. Right, let's try that again. 18 laps now on the order of the day. Illegal overtake, despite being sat on the grid. Are you serious? What's that about? How did I overtake him illegally when I hadn't even moved? GG game, GG. Right, Albon is now dead in front of me. I've been cut off with nowhere to go, and I've lost time because I had to let Ricciardo through. And as a result, Dennis Hauger in the Alfa Romeo is ahead of me. So too is Alex Albon. And we do have some bodywork damage which may compromise us through the course of this Grand Prix, but at the moment we're sat in P13. I'm having a little look at Dennis Hauger there, but nothing's going to come of that. Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari is P10, and he's got Alex Albon all over his rear. Albon has a 5-second penalty. I'm now going down the inside of Hauger, down the left-hander there. That's not a conventional overtaking move, to say the least, but we've got the place. We're up into P12. Ricciardo also has a 5-second penalty. I'm really curious to see what these penalties are all about, as I've now gone deep, and I think Hauger's trying to have a look back, but so far, no way through. But Hauger is taking me! I've tagged him and I've nearly lost the car! What drama we have here! The reigning champion, myself, down in 13th and struggling, battling with Dennis Hauger. That is not the start to the season we had in the script. At the moment, it's Lando Norris who's leading his way through this 20-lap race. We've completed lap 3, lap 4. We're trying to attack Dennis Hauger. He's gone defensive. I'm going around the outside of Hauger. Are we going to make that work? Hauger's trying to stick it out, but we've got the better exit. And we've now got past Dennis Hauger and up into P12. Now, I assume the key here to getting points would be not to lose 5 seconds to Ricciardo and Albon, which should be relatively straightforward because Ricciardo, for whatever reason, has decided hard tyres are the way to go this race. I'm not so sure. I'm not even sure we'll have the race without another pit stop. Oh, Ricciardo did not enjoy that exit at all there, and I have a feeling a move might be on here. No, that move is not on, and well, I've gone in very tight. And I've now got something stuck on my car, a bollard of sorts, which I've managed to shake off. Hauger is staying right there, but I'm trying to catch Ricciardo, and I'm trying also not to lose 5 seconds to Albon, because that would kill any chance of points I have. At the moment, we're really not in the points though, and Ricciardo is very slow. I wonder if he has any kind of damage. This should be the overtake done here on Daniel Ricciardo. This is the overtake done on Daniel Ricciardo, up into P10, 11, sorry. And now Dennis Hauger may have a look at the Ferrari. So Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari really struggling for pace. And I'm struggling to keep up with Alex Albon. But now I've got a lap in clear air. we might find ourselves just able to hone in on the McLaren a little bit as Dennis Hauger gets past Daniel Ricciardo as well for 12th. Wow, it is a major changing of the pecking order here. Daniel Ricciardo in the Ferrari getting overtaken by an Alfa Romeo. You wouldn't have expected that, would you? But in career mode, anything is possible as we now start honing back in on Alex Albon in the McLaren. So it's now time to see what kind of pace this car has. And actually, so far this lap, the pace is not looking too shabby. Now I'm not wheel to wheel with other cars. The pace isn't too bad, so it looks like we can catch Alex Albon. I don't know about getting past him yet, but for now, catching is the first thing. We've got a yellow flag at the end of Sector 2. What has happened here? Who have we lost? It's George Russell in the Alpine. That's unfortunate. He was on for a really good start. And now we're in the points, and Dennis Hauger is a position outside the points. Hauger's having a brilliant run in his Alfa Romeo today. He was in the Williams last season, I believe. But Hauger has moved on to Alfa Romeo, and you know what? It's working for him. He's up in P11. He's 2 seconds clear of Daniel Ricciardo. We've caught Alex Albon by a little bit. There's a massive battle going on in front of us, and I don't know who's leading it or holding that train up, but that could allow some opportunities. And Yuki Tsunoda has now got past Daniel Ricciardo for P12, so the leading Ferrari has now been passed by both the Alfa Romeos, and we are looking good for getting up to P9 at this stage if we can catch Albon, who looks like he's catching Leclerc. So this little battle could Constantina up in a bit. And I tell you what, we're not pulling away rapidly from Dennis Hauger. If anything, he's keeping us very honest. And I think he wants a chance at that point. Okay, so it's all starting to settle down a little bit now. We're on lap 6 out of 20. And we're now catching Alex Albon for P9 in the McLaren. Don't forget, he does have a 5-second time penalty, which will be taken at the end of the race. So Albon, it's very provisional where he is, as we've gone exceeding track limits, which I've now been given a warning for. Lando Norris sets the fastest lap, but Max Verstappen matches it. So Verstappen in the Mercedes is getting up to speed very quickly with that Mercedes, and he is attacking Lando Norris. Meanwhile, I'm getting ever closer to the McLaren in front of me, third time right, of Alex Albon, and we're going to try and figure a way past, but we're Constantinaing with Charles Leclerc in the AlphaTauri. He's looking good for points on his debut for AlphaTauri, but I think Dennis Hauger is interested in the Alfa Romeo as well, and I think he would love a chance at grabbing a point. Right, Albon, I think, has just approached Leclerc's DRS, so we've really got to find something here, and we can't keep throwing it wide like that. And we've got a safety car! Why have we got a safety car? What has happened? Is there anything to suggest why we have the safety car? I want to have a look. Let's have a little look, see if there's anything that suggests why we have it. Who's that that's spun? I think that's Ricciardo. Yes, it is. Daniel Ricciardo was spun. Oh, that's playing the team game, Danny. Just block off Pierre after you spin. And that's why we have a safety car, for the spin of Ricciardo. But that's a knee-jerk reaction, because that safety car will be in soon. I wonder, is anybody going to make pit stops with this? But what that essentially does now is close the pack right up. Oh my days, this has been a very dramatic opener, and we're only 7 laps in. We're not even halfway through. We're not even halfway through yet. I mean, I know it's a shortened race from what you're normally used to in career mode. Normally we do 50%, but we've had this much drama and not even halfway through yet, so this could get interesting. But also, like I said, it brings the pack back together, and I think Carlos Sainz is running in 7th, so well done Carlos. He's having a solid debut for us Of course, we're not fully up to speed yet because we still need to throw on the upgrades that we lost out on. But when we get this car upgraded, I think we're going to be back to the front again. Nobody making any pit stops, so I assume everybody is going to try and run this medium tyre to the end, which now we've had a safety car, that's going to help with. But I tell you what, who this doesn't help, and that is Alex Albon, because like I said, he's got a 5-second time penalty, and now people like Hauger and co are closing in on him, so that could really cost him moving forwards, and we now rejoin the back of the pack. So, what's the order then? I'm going to have a quick glance at the race director for the race order. It is Norris, Verstappen, Drugovich. That's your top three. Then we've got Stroll, Zhou Guanyu doing a very solid job for Alpine in 5th. Then we've got Piastri, Sainz, Leclerc, Albon, myself, 2 Alfa Romeos. Then it's Jack Doohan in Red Bull, Sargent 14th, Magnussen, Ocon, Gasly, Vesti, Ricciardo, Porsche, Lawson, and of course George Russell is out of the race. And I think Liam Lawson is pitting in as well. I think he's taken some form of damage. But that is it for now. This is your top. This is the race. And we've still got about 12 laps left. But this is setting up a sprint finish here. Catch safety car Q. I was right with it. And I just wonder, are we going to see any further drama in the second part of this race? It's already been active enough. And I think we'll have one more lap behind the safety car after this one. I'm honestly tempted to pit again and grab fresher tyres than the rest of the field, but I think the fresh advantage I'd have, I'd lose trying to regain places, so I don't think it's worth it. I think if we were on like lap 12 or 13 and then everybody had tyres that were a bit more worn, then I'd absolutely take that gamble. But it's not worth it now. We're in a good place. We're in the points. And Albon dead ahead of us has a penalty. So that for now, we're fine for now. I need to actually get a bit closer to Albon. But I dare not be too close in case he tries to brake test me. And then we lose a front wing. And then we lose more positions. The safety car heading, and it's a Williams 1-3 at the moment. Who would have predicted that as your Season 4 order? But so far, Williams leading the way, Verstappen is in second, and I feel like he is going to have an attack at Lando Norris if he can launch one. But right now, we're tucked up behind Alex Albon, and we've got another 2/3 of the lap to do before the safety car comes in. I believe it'll be in this lap, because normally it does 3 laps. There's the lap the safety car's announced, the lap where you catch it, and then one more lap for its in lap. So that, I believe, is what is happening right now. Right then, approaching the end of the second sector, and I think this is where we're going to see that the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, and we will be racing for 11 laps. So, I mean, in terms of actual F1 distance, that is a bit of a sprint finish. If it was a 50% race, it'd be a sprint finish, but it's over half of this distance. But you know what? I like the fact that 35% as a race distance was added into F1 23, and it's great for experimental purposes such as this. So it is just a one-off season at 35%. When I go back to doing career mode for F1 24, they will be 50% races. Right then, the safety car is in this lap, and that means we will go racing once the safety car comes in. I'm trying to position myself well for the restart here. We're underway again, and you know what? I've nailed this restart. We're having a look at Alex Albon, who's going very defensive, but he might end up trying to make an attack on Leclerc. We broke very late again, and Albon's diving down the inside, and I think he's whacked into Carlos Sainz. and I'm pretty sure I saw a piece of Albon's front wing fly off there. Leclerc had very compromised momentum, which means we're now going to be able to go around the outside of the AlphaTauri, which I think we have done, but we've gone a little bit too deep. But we have made it work. We're up into P9, and I do think Albon is going to be struggling with a little bit of damage on that McLaren because he did whack Carlos Sainz. So one of them will have damage, and I think Albon is struggling with damage because we have caught him. Hauger in P11, he's going to be eyeing this, hoping that Albon's damage does hold him up, because it means, again, it means a points finish for Dennis Hauger, who is running very competitively for Alfa Romeo. We're now trying to get past Alex Albon, and then we can have a go at Carlos Sainz maybe. I don't know if it's best to hold position for now, or whether it'd be best to attack Carlos. I think we'll hold position and see if he can do anything on Oscar. If not, I'll have a go myself. But clearly, Albon is now struggling with damage, and we're going to have a go at the last corner. Albon goes defensive. I'm going to try and go around the outside here. We've made the outside work, and we are now ahead of Alex Albon. Now, does he pit? No, he doesn't. Right, onto the straight. We've moved up into P8. Don't forget, Albon has a penalty, so that's irrelevant where he is. Leclerc is having a go at Alex Albon. He's also having a go at us too. I'll leave room for Leclerc in case he decides to make that work, but he doesn't make it work, but he has got ahead of Alex Albon. He was trying to get past us, but it didn't work. Sainz, meanwhile, is getting past Oscar Piastri. Carlos Sainz doing an incredible job in his first race. Not quite yet, but I feel like it's a matter of when over if. And we are now ahead of Charles Leclerc as well. So Leclerc is up to 9th. Albon is down to 10th. And for sure, Dennis Hauger is going to have a look at passing the McLaren. But I'm now approaching both Piastri and Sainz. And I'm thinking I'm not going to attack Sainz if I get close to him before he gets Piastri. I'm thinking I'm going to bide my time here. And if Carlos goes for the move, I will just sit back and help him. At the moment, it's a team game because we're not in the best of positions, so I want to play the team game. I'm going to stick behind Sainz and let him do what he needs to do with Oscar Piastri ahead. And even if then I clear Piastri, I'm just going to stay behind Sainz. I'm not going to attack him. I'm going to stay behind him unless it's obvious that we are that much quicker. But for now, I'm just going to let him do what he needs to do with Oscar Piastri. Here he goes down the inside. We may even be able to capitalise if Piastri gets compromised, and he has been, which means Piastri is going to be quite vulnerable for us here. So here we go. We're now going after Piastri. He goes defensive, and guess what? We're going to try and go around the outside. We have gone around the outside, but Piastri's having none of it. Oscar's deciding, nope, you can stay back. So we're having to figure out another way to get Piastri. And this is going to be it down the inside here. Are we going to make this work? Yes, we have. Oscar is still there, so I'm giving him the room, but he's now backed out. So we are up into P7, and Carlos Sainz directly ahead of us in P6. Now, can Carlos catch Joe is the question. I don't want to attack him in case he does start catching the Alpine, and then we both start losing out on time while racing him. I want to see if he can catch the Alpine, because if he can, that's another position potentially for both of us. But if he doesn't, then I'm going to try and pass him and get after the Alpine myself. But at the moment, we're looking good. We're in the points, P7, and this is looking like a good, solid first race. After starting 13th, I will take this all day long. But at the moment, we've got Piastri and we've got Leclerc right behind us. And is Joe catching Sainz? I feel like he is a little bit, so I'm going to wait it out behind him. We're definitely a couple attempts quicker at this stage, but I'm going to wait it out behind him and just see what he does over the next few laps. There's no point racing him if there is an opportunity, if he is catching, because then we just cost ourselves. It all depends on what the gap is over the next couple of laps. I am going to get closer, but I'm not going to get that much closer. Carlos at this stage is about 2.4 behind him, so I'm going to keep an eye on these gaps and just do that at this point. Keep an eye on the gaps. At the moment, I have to say, myself and Sainz's pace is quite evenly matched, so I think Carlos may even be a little bit quicker than me this lap, so that the issue now becomes a no issue. But Joe in P5, I've got to say, his pace is looking very, very good. But it's mainly on the straights that we gain, I notice. It's mainly on the straights that we're making gains. And that's because all of our power upgrades we were able to protect. Gone a little bit deep there. And Joe has actually pulled out from Sainz a little bit, so in terms of him being quicker, it's not really transpired that way. Whereas I think we might actually be a little bit quicker and have a chance at getting after P5, so I'm going to have a go for it. Like, I was monitoring the pace. It's 2.7 seconds now between Sainz and Joe, so Sainz has lost a little bit of time, whereas I think I've gained a tiny bit, so I'm going to give it a go. I'll give it a go, but I don't know if this will amount to anything. The other thing is, obviously, with Piastri and Leclerc right behind, I don't want to lose time to them. That's the other thing. And of course, there's no guarantee I'll even catch Joe, so I don't know what the plan for now is. I think we are just going to hold position for now. But I am going to go for it if an opportunity presents itself. We've got a yellow flag, I believe. I think we've got another... And we've got another safety car! Who's out? I think someone has gone round. And someone has gone round. Lando Norris has gone round. There's a traffic jam of cars behind him. We've moved up to second place. Lance Stroll is leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm now second. Piastri is third. What a dramatic twist! Lando Norris has gone round, and unexpectedly, we are on for a podium! How do you like that? Drugovic is in the pits. Dennis Hauger in the Alfa Romeo is now in the top 5. This is a dream day for him. Well, I have to see a replay of that at the end of the race. But Lando Norris going round and taking Max Verstappen with him. As a result, Verstappen is in 4th, and Lance Stroll is your race leader for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and we have another safety car. What a dramatic opener, and if Lance Stroll wins this race, he is going to be the championship leader. Who saw that coming? What drama we have here, and it's going to be, if the safety car is out for 2 laps, a 4-lap shootout to the finish. Right, what does the race director say the order is? Wow, this is nuts. So the race order is now Stroll leading. I'm in second, Piastri's third, Verstappen is 4th, Dennis Hauger is 5th, Albon is 6th, Tsunoda is 7th, Doohan is 8th, Sargent 9th, and Leclerc currently running 10th. That has changed the face of this race so fast, and I did not expect to be in the running for a podium here. Wow. With the pace we were running, without that spin, we'd have looked at P6, P7 at best. But now we're sat in P2, having gained a few places off the back of that spin, and Max Verstappen is in 4th. But Verstappen may have a couple of easy passes here, and I tell you what, I've got nothing to lose going after Lance Stroll when we have this restart. I'm going for it. There is a chance of a win here, that really did not look possible at the beginning of this race. So I am absolutely going to try and take that. All day long, I am going to try and take that. We got 5 laps to go here, and one of them is under the safety car. I cannot wait for this to go in, because the 4 laps that we're going to have, it's just going to be a sprint finish. Oscar Piastri in 3rd at the moment. He's had a great race for McLaren. Again, a few cars have really lucked out from that big pile-up. But wow, what a way for the Bahrain Grand Prix to finish. And we're now going to have 4 laps to try and see what we can do about Lance Stroll. I think he's going to be quicker than us, but we're definitely going to go for the attack. But Lance Stroll at the moment, for now, is leading the Bahrain Grand Prix. And he's just going to be pinching himself a little bit there. We are, of course, going to have a look at the key moments from the race on the replay at the end. So do be sure to stick it out after the race is finished to see the key moments, including Turn 1, the Ricciardo spin, and, of course, the Norris spin pile-up. And I think red flags are capped at 1 during a 35% race, because I'm pretty sure that would have been a red flag. So I think for the distance we're at, it does cap itself at 1 red flag. And I think we're going to see the notice. Yep, safety car is in this lap. And Lance Stroll's nerves must be shot. He has a chance to win here at Bahrain and put himself in the lead of the championship. But I'm going to see what I can do about that. I am not going to let him have this easy. This is going to be an attack to the end. And it depends how we nail the restart. Get ready then, because 4 laps. 4 laps to the end. It begins now. Stroll is away. So are we. Are we away? Well, yes, we are, and we're going to attack Lance Stroll. Stroll goes defensive. We're on the outside. What can we do about the Mercedes? I'm braking as late as I dare. Trying to go around the outside. Stroll at the moment has it. And Stroll still has it. And Stroll defending well. Piastri's having a look. But I don't think we were able to get past Stroll there. Stroll putting his car in all the right places and kind of parking it a little bit there. So that we weren't able to make it through. Max Verstappen then is getting past Oscar Piastri. So I think any moment now we're going to have pressure from Verstappen. Lance Stroll still leading the way. We had a go. We still might yet, because we're still only several tenths behind. So it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. Albon has moved into 5th, but I think he will lose that. And Dennis Hauger will take it. So right now we're right behind Lance Stroll, and obviously that late safety car is a disaster for Alex Albon, who I believe is now holding up Dennis Hauger. I think he's actually got past him on the restart, but Stroll is now a second clear of us, so he's got the DRS zone, he's got the DRS distance clear, and now we're under pressure from Max Verstappen. I think regardless of what happens, we are going to be safe for P3, but Verstappen is going to try and take P2, and I'm not going to make this easy. Hauger's got past Albon. Hauger has got, no he hasn't.
The gap to the car ahead is increasing by a few tenths.
Right, here we go, 3 to go, and we're 7 tenths behind Stroll. I need to maintain that in order to have a chance of the DRS. We're not going to let him get away. We're going to fight this one as much as we can. Verstappen is now a second behind, so he's dropped off. And I tell you what, our pace is not that bad at all. But I just wonder if that's our straight line speed taking advantage, because as soon as we get to this stage of the circuit, where the upgrades we couldn't save, are a bit of a disadvantage, that he's able to pull ahead. So this is where we need to try and stay with Stroll. We got 2 laps to do this in, and I tell you what, it's not over yet. It is really not over yet. 8 tenths of a second is the gap. I'm trying to stay with Stroll. That's not going to help me though. but it's still 8/10 of a second, which means we are still within the DRS, but Stroll is trying his absolute best to pull away. However, it's not happening. It's not happening. He's now out of DRS range again, and this is where we need to make it work next lap. So at the moment, we're outside of that range, but on this straight is where we can make it count. Verstappen is still 7/10 behind Piastri, 3 seconds behind now, so we're clear of Piastri. And I don't think he's going to be any threat to us, but here we go. DRS. We're in the zone, and this is the first chance we can make this happen. We're not going to make it happen here, but we're going to get closer. So the rear wing opens. Can we do anything? What's the gap? It's still 6/10 of a second. I think we need to try and make it close for the beginning of the lap. If we can stay close by the end of the lap, we'll have a chance into one. If not, Stroll has got the win. The pressure is ramping up. And Stroll looks quite wobbly out of the corner. We're going to get another hit of DRS here, because we've stayed within a second. And you know what? The hit of DRS down this straight might help, but we're out of range again. Stroll doing everything he needs to, and that's frustrating at how well he's doing with it. But this is where we need to absolutely smash this final sector. Here we go, out of the corner, and I'm just using what I can of overtake, just obliterating the button to get us into range, give us a chance at having a go as we come round to complete the penultimate lap. And I tell you what, we have positioned ourselves for an attack, but we're 9/10 behind, so we're not quite close enough to really reel him in. But look at the gap coming down. We're not close enough yet, but we might get to have a go here. Can we make it happen? Can we do anything about the Mercedes in front of us? Stroll is looking very quick at the moment, and Jack Doohan has moved up to 5th place on debut. So Doohan for Red Bull having a stunning race. But we're not able to do anything about Lance Stroll, and I think this is going to be our finishing position. But I'm doing everything to pile on the pressure, force him into a mistake. That was a very ambitious look there. Nothing was ever going to come of that, but we're doing everything we can to unsettle the Mercedes driver, and in fact I think I unsettled myself there. I think Stroll has got this one in the bag. As long as he doesn't spin it round, this is Lance Stroll's day, and we're coming to the end of the 20th lap of what has been an enthralling, dramatic Bahrain Grand Prix. And it is going to be the perfect start to the season for Mercedes. Williams came here and locked out the front row. But it is going to be a Mercedes who wins. And it's going to be Lance Stroll winning the Bahrain Grand Prix. But we get a very unexpected podium for P2. And I will absolutely take that.
Talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, in terms of damage limitation, I couldn't have done much more than that. What a result. We take P2 and gain 18 points in the championship. And obviously when I thought we'd be P6 or P7 and we'd have a bit of a deficit to catch in the standings, to say that we've got second and 18 points, you know, the first few races are going to be about damage limitation while we get the car up to speed. That for damage limitation was not bad. But Lance Stroll takes the win. And as a result of that win, Lance Stroll is leading the title. We're second. Verstappen gets third. Oscar Piastri, a stunning job in P4. And then it's Jack Doohan on debut, picking up 10 points for Red Bull. Yuki Tsunoda gets 6. Dennis Hauger doing a great job all day in P7. And then it's Felipe Drugovich for Williams securing points. Logan Sargent bringing Haas home some points. And Charles Leclerc finishes in P10 and grabs a point for AlphaTauri. Albon slips down to 12th because of his penalty. And because of all the shenanigans, Sainz slips to 14th. And where did Gasly finish? Well, Norris finished, sorry. Well, he was 20th and he was out of the race. So, unfortunate for him. And it also took Zhou Guanyu out of the race. So there you have the standings. Lance Stroll, championship leader. Those are words I'm surprised I'm saying. But we're second, then it's Max, then Oscar, then obviously Jack Doohan doing a great job for Red Bull. And 8 constructors scored points here. And I'm surprised one of them wasn't Alpine because they looked so strong coming here and neither of them scored points. And I'm surprised, obviously, with how strong Williams looked in qualifying, I'm surprised how few they took. But the golden rule of Formula 1, as Murray Walker said, anything can happen in Formula 1 and it usually does. But look at that for a constructor's order. Mercedes, us, Alfa Romeo. Right, so let's have a look back to some of the key race moments. First up is the start. Look how well Norris got away there. He really looked to be away smoothly and into the lead. But it's where we were that it all kicked off. I was trying... Look, here we go. I'm going for space here where there is no space. And eventually I've messed up my brakes. So I'm having to move across on Alex Albon. Albon has got nowhere to go. I've got into Russell. And it's all concertinaing towards Albon, who hits us, loses a front wing, and round it goes. So I think that pretty much my fault there. But it is what it is. We're going to watch now from Charles Leclerc. You can see me trying... I was trying to go through the middle. Like I said, I was looking for the middle, which was here. And the space eventually just ran out. I missed my braking spot. That's what happened there. Right, let's move forward then to lap 6, I think it was. Where we've now got Daniel Ricciardo fighting a Haas. I'm not sure which Haas that is. That's Logan Sargent. Daniel Ricciardo then has just been passed by Sargent, or is racing him. And I think it's around here that Ricciardo is going to have a spin. Yeah, it's this corner. So he's having a look back at passing Sargent. And I think he's just going to light up the rear tyres. And round it goes. And his own teammate gets caught up in that melee. Gasly, I'm sure, will not appreciate that. It's a pointless race for Ferrari. Right then, the main drama of this race, though. This is... Oh, what's happening there? I think this is where Sainz was having a go at Piastri. And I think Sainz did, in fact, get through there, which he did. But let's have a look at the main drama in this race. The thing that absolutely changed the face of the race. The moment that changed it all. Williams were looking very good here for a 1-2. How far back was Verstappen? Yeah, Verstappen weren't particularly close. And if anything, Stroll looked to be pressuring Verstappen more than Verstappen pressuring Drugovich. So Williams looking very good for their 1-2 here. But this is the moment it all went wrong for Lando Norris. It just looks like he was pushing too hard. And I think the car is just going to step out here. Yep, round it goes. Drugovich will go straight into it. And of course, that's what wipes Lando Norris out. Zhou Guanyu then piles into Norris. And it's just a traffic jam from there. And there goes the other cars that are going through. Leclerc, unfortunately, getting caught up in it all. But Lando Norris's race ending in heartbreak. And Felipe Drugovich, well, he just had nowhere to go, really. He was still going for it. And Verstappen was a little bit more sensible there. Zhou Guanyu wasn't, though. He took his own wheel off. Drugovich also just getting stuck in the melee. But, yeah, what drama for the first race of the season. We have 15 more of these to go. Are these races all going to have as much drama as this one? I hope so. But it's a great start. Thank you all so much for watching. Join me the next time we do career mode. It will be the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. Until then, TTFN, ta-ta for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content from me.